We all know Family Guy always crosses the line, but if you take a trip back to the early seasons, these classic storylines prove the early seasons were just so sus.
Got a nice tip for you right here in my pocket for my arthritis. Why don't you reach in there and fish it out for yourself?
Today we are taking a trip down memory lane to look at more of most sus old episode of Family Guy. Let's start the show. Starting off with Season 3, Episode 5. And the wiener is. What happens when a father's fragile ego is completely shattered by his own teenage son? In And the Wiener Is, Peter goes to deeply uncomfortable and absurd lengths to overcompensate for his own physical shortcomings, leading to one of the most sus and awkward family dynamics in the classic era. The episode kicks off with Peter developing a massive competitive streak against his son Chris. It starts innocently enough when Peter beats Chris in an ice skating race and brags about his victory to the guys at the Drunken Clam.
I'm on a roll. I whipped Chris on the ice today, too.
Enjoy it while it lasts. It's only a matter of time before he beats you.
When they warn Peter that Chris will eventually grow up and best him at everything, Peter becomes determined to prove his unquestionable dominance.
Got your nose. Oh, yeah? Well, I got your face.
He challenges his son to a basketball game at the local YMCA. But when Chris comes dangerously close to winning, Peter resorts to an incredibly dirty, underhanded tactic. He distracts Chris by loudly lying that he and Lois are getting a divorce, stealing a cheap victory while his son is emotionally stunned. But the true sus moment hits when Peter and Chris hit the sauna to unwind. Peter accidentally gets a glimpse of Chris getting changed and makes a horrifying discovery.
Oh my God, that's not your leg!
His teenage son is freakishly large in the physical development department. The image completely shatters Peter's masculine confidence, turning him into a self-conscious mess who can't even be intimate with Lois because the shocking visual is permanently etched into his mind.
Oh my. Well, no wonder he's always slouching.
How the hell did this happen? I'm supposed to be the man of the house.
Brian tries to make Peter feel better, hilariously offering up the incredibly unhelpful fact that his own lower half simply disappears when I stand up.
Stop it, Peter. You're embarrassing me. But, oh my God. Where's Stewie?
Let me out of this stink-filled corduroy dungeon!
Desperate to feel like a big man again, Peter goes to absurd lengths to overcompensate for his physical assets. First, he buys a comically long car that totally doesn't imply anything about his deep-seated insecurities. When that isn't enough, he buys a massive firearm and officially joins the National Gun Association.
Holy crap, they're all so small.
Well, you see, Peter, the way we look at it, a man's only as big as the gun he carries.
Lois immediately sees where Peter's obsession with guns is coming from, calling it pathetic for him to feel so inadequate next to Chris. She rightly points out that he shouldn't be competing with his own son's physical traits. At the urging of Lois, Peter decides to take Chris on an NGA hunting trip to Bond. Everything seems to be going well in the woods until the two suddenly stumble across a wild bear. Peter tries to take the animal down, but completely freezes up in the moment. Fortunately, before the bear can hurt him, Chris valiantly jumps in and manages to scare the bear off by aggressively yelling at it.
You handle that bear like a real man. I'm proud of you, son.
You are? 'Cause I heard what you said about my huge... you know.
Peter is deeply impressed with Chris's bravery and true manhood, and he finally apologizes for acting so weird about Chris's other manhood. It perfectly wraps up an episode that some may find uncomfortable to sit through due to a father's intense focus on his son's physical growth. But it ultimately delivers a solid and hilarious lesson in the end. Next up is Season 4, Episode 8. 8 Simple Rules for Buying My Teenage Daughter. What happens when a highly intelligent toddler gets a little too attached to his teenage babysitter? In Season 4, Episode 8 Simple Rules for Buying My Teenage Daughter, Stewie develops an intense, boundary-crossing crush on his new sitter, and his extreme jealousy drives him to pull off a highly illegal kidnapping plot. The storyline kicks off with Meg complaining to her parents that she is completely fed up with having to babysit Stewie on Saturday nights.
I don't understand why I have to babysit Stewie. I mean, what's he really gonna do if we leave him by himself?
She claims that watching her baby brother is totally ruining her social life, which prompts Lois to hilariously shut her down by saying, "If you don't want to babysit anymore, that's fine. But don't you stand there and lie to me."
Can't you just hire a real babysitter?
Well, I guess we could do that.
Damn! I'm terrible at meeting new people, like the time I was on Blind Date.
With Meg officially off duty, Lois starts interviewing potential candidates. After passing up on some wildly unqualified applicants, including non-English speakers and a literal alien blob from the Herculoids, the Griffins finally find the perfect fit. In walks LaDawn, a beautiful teenage girl, and Stewie instantly falls head over heels in love.
My God, I haven't been this exhilarated since Brian took me to see Les Miserables.
Excited for his big date with the new sitter, Stewie does everything he can to make himself more appealing, including checking out his diaper region in the mirror with a bottle of baby powder.
Yeah. Well, this here? Oh, it's just my package.
The two end up having a great night playing Jenga, and Stewie genuinely believes he is making romantic progress.
I hope I don't make any social faux pas like I did at Pamela and Tommy Lee's dinner party.
But a massive wrench is thrown into his plans when LaDawn's boyfriend, Jeremy, unexpectedly drops by. Jeremy is your typical obnoxious college bro, complete with strap-on sandals and a passion for playing hacky sack. Stewie is furious and goes on a massive verbal tirade against Jeremy, but it falls on totally deaf ears.
Good night, Stewie.
I tell you, how to...
When Stewie walks downstairs and catches the two teenagers kissing, Jeremy officially becomes his public enemy number one. Deciding to permanently eliminate the competition, Stewie breaks into Jeremy's parents' house, creeps him out with some paranormal tricks, and violently knocks the teenager out cold with a tire iron. Stewie ties Jeremy up and locks him in the trunk of a car, leaving him with an MP3 player that only plays music by the Strokes as an added layer of psychological torture. The next day, Stewie tries to win LaDawn over by offering her comfort while she cries about her boyfriend suddenly ghosting her. However, Stewie completely misreads the vibe and crosses a major line by getting a little too handsy.
Let me just hold you for a while.
Stewie, no! That is a bad place to touch. No. When
LaDawn rightfully sets her boundaries, Stewie goes full psycho and decides to get his revenge by having her fired. He knocks her out with a tranquilizer dart and stages the living room to look like she threw a wild party filled with highly illicit banned substances. When Lois returns and sees the horrific scene, she instantly fires the confused babysitter.
LaDawn, wake up this instant.
What? I don't...
You know what? Don't bother, LaDawn. You are fired.
Before walking out of their lives for good, LaDawn gifts Stewie a heartfelt mixtape she made just for him. Realizing he just made a terrible mistake, Stewie rushes out into the night, crying her name, but she is already gone. The episode wraps up right back where it started. Meg is once again forced to babysit Stewie on a Saturday night. It is only in this moment that Stewie suddenly remembers he left Jeremy locked in the trunk of that car. After casually calculating that it has been a full 2 weeks, Stewie realizes that the teenager has definitely met a grim fate. Next up is Season 3, Episode 13, Screwed the Pooch. What happens when the family dog gets a little too overly affectionate with his wealthy father-in-law's prized racing hound? In this episode, Brian's complete lack of self-control leads to a massive legal battle over a litter of puppies, culminating in an extremely uncomfortable ultimatum from a judge. The storyline kicks off with Brian dealing with some seriously intense, pent-up primal urges. Seeing that he needs to unwind,
Sorry, I thought I smelled cookies.
Lois invites him to tag along for a relaxing weekend visit at her parents' massive estate. But relaxation goes right out the window when Brian spots Carter Pewterschmidt's beautiful, prize-winning racing dog, Seabreeze. Brian is instantly smitten, but Carter strictly forbids him from getting anywhere near his highly valuable animal.
Oh, boy, that is that.
Is that something?
That is something. That is hot.
Isn't she the most beautiful dog you've ever seen?
Yes.
However, Carter decides to enter Seabreeze into a high-stakes dog race. While watching her run from the stands, Brian completely loses his mind. Overcome by his instincts, he actually rushes the racetrack right in the middle of the event, ruining the race and intimately getting together with Seabreeze in front of a massive crowd of onlookers. The situation reaches a boiling point when the local vet announces that Seabreeze is expecting a litter of puppies.
Mr. Pewterschmidt, again, I just want to tell you how sorry I am about this. I don't know what came over me.
A completely furious Carter immediately bans Brian from ever seeing her again and aggressively sends the entire Griffin family packing. Refusing to be kept away from his new family, Brian sneaks back, and he and Seabreeze go on the run like a pair of outlaw lovers.
You know, we all really miss you, and Peter talks about you all the time.
Oh, really? Anything nice?
No.
Oh, so he's still mad, huh?
Their romantic getaway doesn't last long, though, as a fully armed SWAT team eventually swarms their motel room and forces them apart. Determined to be a father, Brian decides to take Carter to court to officially sue for full custody of the unborn puppies. During the highly publicized trial, Carter's lawyers ruthlessly drag Brian's name through the mud, questioning his character and ability to raise children. Surprisingly, it is Peter who steps up to the plate, delivering a shockingly heartfelt defense and convincing the court that his best friend will be a fantastic dad.
Brian should be allowed to see his puppies.
Peter, think about what you're doing.
I am. Your Honor, Brian will be a great dad.
The judge is moved by Peter's speech and agrees to grant Brian custody.
Yeah, you did it, buddy. Oh, congratulations. Oh, man.
But with one massively uncomfortable catch, Brian must be permanently fixed by a veterinarian before he can claim the puppies. Brian bravely prepares to go under the knife for the sake of his kids, but right before the procedure begins, Lois dramatically bursts into the operating room with a massive plot twist. The puppies have been born, but they look absolutely nothing like Brian, proving Seabreeze actually stepped out on him with another dog.
You're a filthy
You must be so relieved.
Well, actually, I was kind of looking forward to being a dad.
Brian narrowly gets to keep his anatomy intact, wrapping up one of the most boundary-pushing and wildly sus animal storylines in the classic era. Next up is Season 2, Episode 14, Let's Go to the Hop. What happens when a father's attempt to stop a bizarre high school epidemic ends up with him stealing his daughter's bully for a date? In our final segment, Peter Griffin goes undercover at the local high school, but he crosses some major boundaries when his newfound teenage popularity goes straight to his head. The storyline begins when a plane drops a cargo load of mind-altering amphibians over the town, leading the local high schoolers to start engaging in a highly questionable new trend, licking toads to catch a psychedelic buzz.
Mom, can you sign this for my field trip?
Sure, sweetheart. Meg, you have a warrant. Meg, how could you bring a toad into this house?
The trend quickly makes its way into Meg's social circle. Meg doesn't actually want to participate, but she holds onto one of the toads in a desperate attempt to get in with the popular crowd, hoping that her mean girl rival, Connie D'Amico, will help her score a date to the upcoming winter snowball dance.
See, I thought if I held Connie D'Amico's toad, she'd make one of the cool guys ask me to the winter snowball.
When the school realizes they have a massive problem on their hands, Peter pitches a completely absurd plan to the principal. He decides to go undercover as a transfer student named Lando Griffin to convince the kids to drop the bad habit.
Dad?
The reason I'm not responding is because I'm not this dad person. I'm the new kid in town, Lando Griffin.
Rocking some baggy clothes and utilizing all the subtlety of a 40-year-old undercover cop trying to use youth slang, Lando somehow manages to convince the school that doing the right thing is actually the cool thing to do. Virtually overnight, Peter becomes the absolute coolest kid in school.
Everyone's talking about how you trashed the jukebox. Classic cool. We're gonna do some Toad. You in?
Meg sees her undercover dad as the ultimate golden ticket to popularity, bragging to everyone that she is going to the winter snowball with the legendary Lando. But things take a deeply sus turn when Peter lets his newfound high school fame go straight to his head. Instead of helping his daughter, he actually agrees to take her ultimate rival Connie to the dance instead, completely ditching Meg. Lois is absolutely furious when she finds out Peter is planning to take a teenage girl to the school dance.
Hey, Connie pulled a power move. And when the most popular girl in school asks you to the dance, you don't say no, you say, okay.
Rightfully forbidding her middle-aged husband from attending. But acting like a total man-child, Peter rebels against his wife and sneaks out to the school anyway, determined to fight for his right to party. However, the episode redeems itself right at the climax. As Peter and Connie are about to be officially crowned king and queen of the Winter Snowball, Peter finally has a moment of clarity. He realizes that high school popularity isn't everything, and he publicly rejects Connie in front of the entire student body.
I have a confession. I've been living a lie. I shouldn't be here with Connie. My first choice was Meg Griffin.
What?
Peter passionately announces that his first choice for the dance was actually Meg Griffin, which instantly makes Meg look like the most desirable and popular girl in the room. It is the perfect save to a storyline that teetered dangerously close to some wildly uncomfortable territory.
Oh, Daddy, thank you so much.
Oh, anything for you, sweetheart.
Well, I'm off to popularity. Ciao.